Right, so in today's video, we're back on the front lawn, and from a distance all seems to be well. However, we do have a bit of a problem on this lawn, and that problem is with POA annua, or otherwise known as weedgrass. So I want to explain today exactly why we have so much of it in this lawn, and also show you what I'm going to do to combat this problem. So we all know that social media can be deceiving, and that goes for pretty much any content, lawn care content included. You know, if you were to drive past this lawn or just walk past it, it'd look almost as if the lawn is flawless. It's got a really nice colour, got some really nice stripes. However, there is a big problem with weedgrass. So from here, it doesn't look too bad. However, if we get in close over the top now, you're going to see that we have quite a lot of weedgrass knocking about. If we just zoom in here, you can see where we have all these seed heads now. That's exactly where we've got all the POA. The question we need to be asking ourselves before we try and rectify this problem is why? Why is the problem so bad, and what's caused it? And it all stems back to when we renovated this lawn earlier this year. What we did in April time is we got on with some Roundup. We killed off the existing lawn because we wanted to change the grass variety altogether. We scarified the lawn to within an inch of its life to remove as much of the dead material as we could. We hollow tine aerated everything, and then we got on with some new topsoil to level the space out to get it as smooth as we possibly could. And it was only then when we got on with the seeds, but it was all that soil prep which has contributed to this weedgrass problem. All soil, regardless of how good your lawn might look, is going to contain weed seeds already. There's going to be POA seeds in there, there's going to be dandelion seeds, clover seeds, and the only thing that kind of stops them from firstly germinating, and even if they do germinate, stops them from becoming mature plants, is the density of the canopy. If I just bring you in right over the top of the lawn now, you'll see that despite having some weedgrass, we have an unbelievably dense sward. So that in itself is preventing the problem from getting worse than it currently is. But when you're doing a full renovation like I did, you're disturbing the soil quite a lot. You know, scarifying it disturbed the soil, aerating it did, leveling it with new soil. And even though when you get topsoil bags and it says, you know, weed free and it's been heat treated, there's still going to be seeds in there, and those seeds are still going to germinate. And I think a big part of this issue was the new soil that we got on this lawn with. So by loosening the existing soil and adding some more stuff, that's contributed to it. But also as well, if we think about when we actually seed the lawn from scratch, we want those seeds to go off to the fastest start possible. And the way we do that is we water them quite often, which is great for the seeds we've put down. It's also great for the POA annua seeds too. Once we get germination, we feed the lawn to get the plants to mature and thicken quite quick. So we're thickening the grasses that we want, then we're also thickening the grasses that we don't want, things like POA annua. Everything good that we're doing to our lawn is good for the weedgrass too. So if you scarify and do a renovation sort of in the springtime, or even if you do a full renovation like I've done, you're going to increase the chances of getting POA annua, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because at the end of the day, we needed to do all that stuff to get the lawn that we've got today. So now that we know why we've got this problem, the question now is, what are we going to do to solve it? You've essentially got two choices. The first one is probably best suited for if you've got quite a big lawn, and that's kind of just to continue doing what you're doing. Cut your grass on a regular basis, use the grass collector every time you cut, because what you're going to do is you're going to be nicking off these seed heads, and by taking these off and putting them into the grass collector, it's just going to mean that there's going to be less of them knocking about in your soils. And what you're going to want to pray for is for the weedgrass plants to die off quite a lot over the winter, and when it comes to next spring and when you feed the lawn, hopefully those grasses that you do want, the bents, the fescues, the rye, they start to thicken up and outcrowd any of those POA annua plants that you definitely don't want knocking about. However, that's not really going to solve your problem. The only way you can fully solve the problem to an extent is to pull them by hand. Now, I know this isn't always ideal, and if you've got a big lawn, it can be hard to do, but it really is the only way. What you don't want to do is you don't want to be scarifying or verticutting your lawn, because what it will do is it'll encourage it'll spread more seeds for a start, and then it'll open up your sward, it'll open up your soil to an extent, and what will then happen is you'll end up with even more weed grasses than you started with. So it'll look better today, look worse in the long run. You'll see where I've removed that weedgrass plant there, all I'm doing is just packing in the grass around it, because the canopy is so dense. it's going to cover that space, meaning that if we do have any weed seeds in there, which we inevitably will have, then the likelihood of them being able to germinate now is less. But also, as we cut this grass, more and more of the thickening process is going to take place. Stolons and rhizomes are going to do the thing, and eventually when we part this grass, we won't see the soil, we're just going to see even more grass plants. So that's kind of the name of the game. So if you've got a creeping grass like I've got here, then it'll fill in. If you've not got a creeping grass, and let's say you remove quite a big chunk, for example, like I did here the other week, then what you can do is just put a little bit of seed down, put a little bit of topsoil over the top, and you can see here we've already got a little bit of germination on the go, and that's going to fill in that space, because areas like this are almost mini versions of that renovation process I explained earlier. If you start removing these weed grass plants and you notice that you're taking out like a massive chunk of the soil and leaving quite a lot of it exposed, then letting the grass fill in on its own probably isn't the best course of action to go with, because it's going to take quite a while, and that soil being exposed for too long is just going to mean that the weed grass plants and other weeds too are going to take the opportunity to fill it. So putting a bit of seed down kind of increases the competition in that area, and you're hoping that the seeds you put down and those grass plants that come through outcompete these opportunistic plants. But one thing to just be mindful of as well is, don't think that by having power in your lawn, it's in any way you failing at lawn care or getting things wrong. Like we said towards the start of this video, the problem was caused on this lawn by doing the right thing for the grasses that we do want. By enjoying lawn care as a hobby, unfortunately, POA annua is the nemesis you come up against. Often if you see established lawns that are full of weeds and other grasses and things, they contain quite a lot less POA, because the soil's often filled with plants, not just grasses but other weeds as well, and it means that POA finds it a little bit harder to take hold. When you renovate your grass year on year, let's say you're scarifying, you're verticutting, you're overseeding, then you open up your soil, that kind of seed bank within the soil, to let these weed grass plants take hold, and it's just kind of part and parcel. There's not really much you can do about it. What I would say is, once let's say you do what I'm doing today, where you're picking POA by hand, once you have picked it, the best thing to do would be to feed the lawn, because it's going to accelerate the thickening process then. So if you feed it and then get out and cut it every few days for the next few weeks, then it's going to thicken up really well. It's going to stop any new plants from taking hold. You've always got to compare it a little bit to a rainforest, let's say. In a rainforest, you've got a really tight canopy up at the top, and a lot of the stuff down at the bottom finds it difficult to grow and to thrive. So for the most part, those new plants tend to die. However, there are the odd anomalies that will grow through and make it through to the top of the canopy. That's like weed grass. It'll take the opportunity. If there's a little space, it'll go for it. However, if we were to take a rainforest and we were to hack it down big time, then all those seeds, all those plants that are wanting to take those opportunities are going to thrive, and you're going to end up with a completely different landscape. Think about scarifying and renovating and verticutting as you're thinning that canopy all the time, and every time you thin it, you're opening up the chance for weed grasses to take hold. So you can combat that by feeding, you can combat that by overseeding. If, let's say, you've got ryegrass, for example, it's not going to thicken up on its own. So it's about being intentional about what you want to do. And if you do need to overseed, then this is a great time of year to do it, because at the moment, it depends on where you live in the UK, but we're getting quite a bit of rain. We've got some decent temperatures. It's not too hot. It's not baking hot. So you are going to get good germination levels this time of year, and that's all going to help combat this issue. So there we go. I think we're safe in saying that we've picked probably, I'd say maybe 95% of the POA plants out of the lawn. You can see we've filled pretty much this entire bucket, but the thing is with doing a process like this, you're not going to get them all. There's still going to be the odd one knocking about. So what I am going to do is over the next few days, probably every couple of days, I'll come out before I give the lawn a cut. I'll just do a little bit of a sweep, looking to see if we have any POA knocking about. And if we do, I'll pull it and I'll get rid, because this isn't like a one-time fix for your lawn. It's just reduced the problem massively. Because the more we keep on top of this, the more POA plants we pull, means that obviously there's less of them there, but there's less of those seeds that are going to end up finding their way into the soil. And hopefully next year, because we're not going to be doing a full renovation, we won't be starting this from scratch, the likelihood is we might not even verticut or scarify come the spring. That'll mean the existing plants that we have, the ones that we want to be dominant, like the bents and the fescues on this lawn, they're going to be in a much stronger position. So hopefully this time next year, they'll have crowded out most of those weedgrass plants, and we should be, picking some out like you would in every single lawn, but it'll be nowhere near as many as what we've actually picked out today. Because just remember what I said earlier on in this video, having a problem like this when you've done a renovation isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it was a good process for what you wanted to happen. However, the weedgrasses, unfortunately at times, are just an unfortunate consequence of what we do to get ourselves a boss lawn. So if you have enjoyed today's video, or at least found it useful, then consider giving it a like. I've got loads of lawn care stuff on this channel, so if you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel. There's lots planned for in the next few weeks to kind of get us through the back end of summer, but also to look at what we're going to do in autumn to prepare our lawns to survive through the winter. So follow us on the other platforms as well. I've got a TikTok, it's Novice Gardener Official. I've got an Instagram, the link for that will be in the description below. It's Novice Gardener YT. And yeah, finally, thanks for watching. And for those who have stuck around until the end of this video, yes, I am going to trim the edges finally.